The Russian economy is currently experiencing a full meltdown since pretty much every Western brand or company is pulling out. The banks are cut from the financial system, the ruble is on a crash collision, international airspace is almost fully closed off, imports and exports have been cancelled, and a massive brain drain is underway where young Russian professionals with a bright future are leaving the country in masses. This is not even the full story of what's happening in Russia right now, and already it sounds like a terrible nightmare. In fact, many experts agree that Russia is looking at a massive recession, one that could be even worse than the 1990s, which is based on the fact that serious recession effects that normally take months to develop are developing in a matter of days, and the worst is still to come. This whole disaster started with the induced bank run, explained in this short video linked up here, where major banks were cut off from the international banking system, which led to Visa, MasterCard and PayPal completely cutting ties with Russia. This step, combined with the closing of international airspace, made it pretty much impossible to do business in the country, since when you cut Russia off from international airspace, they can no longer get supplies in and out of the country, which prevents all hardware businesses from operating in Russia. And when you also cut off the entire financial system, this prevents all service sector businesses from operating, basically shutting down the entire country. Now, the truly extreme effects are still underway. Think of it as a massive bomb going off, of which the shockwave still has to hit. Because when major companies like IKEA, H&M and Zara close their stores and leave, it leads to mass unemployment and millions lose their job. Since it's not just the tens of thousands of people that work in those stores, you also have to consider all the people that work in the overall supply chain. On top of that, all of these people that are now unemployed will simply stop buying products other than the bare essentials, and this means that the local companies that were still able to operate under the sanctions will see their customer base shrink as well. In addition to this, over 65% of Russian households have no savings at all, and this was already the case before the pandemic hit. So you can imagine that this situation has not gotten any better. Low-income households in Russia have around half a month's income in savings, while medium-income families have about 2 to 3 months savings. This means that in about 1 to 2 months, you will have an absolute breakdown of the Russian economy, and the only way for the government to stop the bleeding is to print more money. However, that is currently impossible. Before we continue, please like and subscribe to support the channel. Because like I showed in the bank run video, the currency of Russia has been falling like crazy, and printing more money is absolutely the last thing the central bank wants to do. Just a week ago, the ruble was down 30%, and at the time of making this video, it's already down 44%. So just imagine the people that have only a half a month of savings in their bank accounts, seeing almost half of it evaporate. This is the current state of the Russian economy, and Putin is showing no signs of backing down in Ukraine, which means that these financial sanctions are not going to get lifted anytime soon. As a matter of fact, the US is already preparing energy sanctions together with the UK, something they were hesitant to implement before, since this also raises fuel prices stateside, and even the Europeans are considering banning the import of Russian oil and gas. However, some European countries are 30 to 70% dependent on Russian gas, so this would hurt Europe considerably if they were to go this route. The overall pain will be felt much more in Russia, since around 50% of Russia's income is oil and gas, which shows that this sanction would really be the final nail in the coffin of the Russian economy. So basically, Europe would have to cut off its own foot to kill Putin, but it will survive. This was why the Russian economy is collapsing. Please like and subscribe for more videos.